In recent years, wireless CarPlay has become more and more standard in newer vehicles and newer aftermarket head units. So what do people like myself and you watching that have wired CarPlay, what are we supposed to do? Well, I've got the answer for you. It's the Magic Box. This guy right here is going to take your wired CarPlay and turn it wireless. And not only that, there's a whole lot of other cool stuff that this thing can do, and I'm going to tell you about it in today's video. Let's go. All right, so here is the CarPlay home screen. It's already booted up. Not to worry, I'll show the whole boot up process, but I figured since it's already booted up, let's just go ahead and show you the demo of the CarPlay in action. So you've got your typical screen here. You do have the charging indicator because my phone is on my wireless charger here. And I do have a video on this, by the way, which I'll put at the top here. We'll go ahead and put that back. Real quick, you can see it's not charging now. And now it is. So you know that it's that phone that is paired here, and it is paired wirelessly. So if you go here, you can kind of see as we move things along. I mean, the responsiveness is fine. There's really no issues with, menu, navigation. If I click on the media here, the only thing where you're really going to see it, and I've got a podcast queued up, that way I don't get a copyright strike, but like if I hit play right here,
it's hard to get paid.
There is about here.
No bands were making it back then.
There's about 1.5 seconds to a 2-second delay when you hit play or pause. Sometimes you get this message. This is probably something that's exclusive to the RAV4. I don't know that every radio is going to have that particular message, but I'm glad it showed up there just in case you have a RAV4. Just know that it doesn't actually mess with your listening experience. But I think the one thing that probably might irk some people is that little bit of delay. And as far as I can tell, that delay is not like exclusive to the Magic Box. Like this is like a delay that you get on many, if not all, CarPlay or wireless CarPlay units. So that is something to keep in mind if you're somebody that is looking for a wireless CarPlay solution. That is going to be across the board. There's really not a whole lot that you can do about that. But, I mean, I'm generally impressed with how it works, how it functions as a wireless CarPlay. I am an Apple user. Of course, if you have the Android Auto, this will work wirelessly as well. I do not have an Android phone to show you. I do apologize for that. But generally, overall, I mean, the responsiveness, it really does work very well. I'm sorry, it's getting a little blurry there. But it's just going right here.
There were smaller bands, but I don't understand how, when I see, there's a couple of venues in town, and I see.
So that's where you're going to see your delay. As far as like audio quality, transmitting wirelessly, I don't notice any sort of issues with audio quality. It sounds to me, to my ear, and I'm not some audiophile, but I do listen for audio quality. So I can tell you that, when I listen to it, I cannot tell like some sort of a noticeable difference when it comes to the audio quality. All right, so next I want to show you the actual Magic Box home screen. So if you go over here, this particular button is something that you'll see depending on your car maker or your radio. It'll be that logo. So if you have a Ford, there's probably a Ford logo, Honda, or whatever. I've got Toyota, so if I hit this, now it's going to take me to the actual Magic Box home screen. And as you can see down here at the bottom, wireless CarPlay is connected to the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Tap that back again. Now we're back here. One of the things that I want to show you right off the bat is a setting that you're going to want to change the moment you get your phone paired. Click here, scroll over, settings, come down here to general settings, okay? Right here where it says startup options, if you are iPhone CarPlay, that's the one you want right there. CarPlay. By default, it is set up for Android. So if you got Android Auto, that's where you want to be. Leave it right there. But if you're looking for CarPlay and you want it to boot right into your phone on CarPlay automatically, that's the option you want to change to CarPlay. There is a boot animation when you start this thing up every single time. I would recommend you turn the sound off unless you like a bunch of loud, like, you know, booms and crackles or whatever sound effects are in that boot up sound. I'm not a big fan of it, so I disabled it. So that is another option you may want to consider as you're doing this. And those are the two settings really that I would go out of my way to fix first. One of the cool things about the Magic Box is the ability to stream things like YouTube, Netflix. However, something that you must understand, especially as a CarPlay user, is that when you are using CarPlay, you cannot use the Wi-Fi on the Magic Box, okay? The Wi-Fi is already in use to connect to your phone. So if you want to use your phone as the hotspot to power the Magic Box, or you want to use the car, like if your car, like the RAV4 does have a mobile hotspot, if you want to use that to give the Magic Box its internet connection, you're going to have to disconnect CarPlay. I'm going to go back into settings, I'm going to go to Wi-Fi, and I'm going to turn Wi-Fi. Right now, Wi-Fi is off. I'm going to turn it on, okay? So it's going to warn me here that it's going to disconnect CarPlay. So if you need to use Wi-Fi, CarPlay is going to be disconnected. I'm going to say sure, okay? Now it's going to search for Wi-Fi. Now, I don't know why it's connecting to this TV service. I don't recognize that that Wi-Fi connection. So let's see if it has my phone here. I may have to enable something on my phone. Yeah, I think I do. Okay. So I'm going to leave the screen here, hang tight. So if I go into my personal hotspot and I allow others to join, in a moment here, we're going to see my phone. Look, there it is. My phone just locked right on. Now we have internet connectivity, but as you can see again, wireless CarPlay is disconnected. So you have to keep this in mind, because I know some people will think, well, it's going to work across the board. It's not. So you're either using the wireless CarPlay or the wireless Android Auto, or you're using your phone or a hotspot to connect to the Wi-Fi on the Magic Box to power up your internet apps. So let's go to YouTube here. We're going to go ahead and check out YouTube. And I don't know about my connection, so we'll see how long it takes to load. It is starting to load some stuff here, which is cool. Oh, hey, there's Shane Watley. He's always got some really cool Apple Home Kit or Apple Home Talk. Let's click on him and see what he's got going on. So this thing's going to boot up. Look at that. Let's give it some more volume.
Daniel, want to stick to Thread? Yeah, Thread's good. I mean, it doesn't mean it's great though. I've definitely used some Thread products that I would switch out.
I'm gonna turn that down for just a second. So that is pretty cool. All right, so let's go to my page real quick. Your channel. Let's go with the best bike rack. It's an amazing bike rack.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
This is pretty cool.
Today I want to talk about hitch-mounted racks for the event and adventure, or really...
All right, so let me pause that. So the idea that I can sit here in a parking lot and watch YouTube videos is pretty amazing. And I think that no file found is triggered whenever I pause a video or I pause, I guess, any media. So I think we figured that one out as we're doing the video here. But this is really cool how all this works. You have this little guy here on the side, this little button here, and it'll take you home. Let's try Netflix. I don't know if I've logged into this or not. No, I don't want to update just yet, but you can run your updates just like any Android, just like any Google Play Android kind of deal. And so here we go. You've got your Netflix. Look at that. That's pretty cool. You know, it's not the most fast, kind of responsive kind of deal, but it does work. It does work. I'm just trying to see here what all they've got. I mean, my God, I want to plan something to watch later, potentially. 21 Jump Street, look at that. All right, let's hit play on this just to see how long it loads up. We'll obviously get rid of it here in a second. I mean, there you go. We skip ahead. We can skip ahead. All right, and let's go ahead and cut that before we get a copyright strike, okay? But the point is, you can run this. All right, let's go. All right, so we're back at the home screen. So overall, this is a really cool setup here, where you can sit here. You know, you're parked on the road. You can sit here, and you can watch videos. This is a nice time killer. Yeah, you can use your phone, but you can also charge your phone and let your phone just sit there while you run it on this bigger screen, and you can, charge your phone, watch a video, and you can run it through like your sound system. And I just think that that's really cool. I think where a lot of the people, where it'll bug people is probably just how long it takes to load initially, how long it takes to play a song, which is about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. I think that's going to potentially irk some people, but that's just kind of where we're at with this whole thing. None of these wireless CarPlay units I've ever used has ever been perfect, but I do think they work well enough to the point of where, you can utilize this and get a lot of good, you can get a lot of good miles out of this thing. Whether you're just sitting here in a parking lot watching YouTube or Netflix, or just getting that wireless CarPlay experience. And really, that to me is, I think really for me, the fact that I can sit here and watch videos like that, like on YouTube or Netflix, yeah, the interface is a little clunky. Some of that is potentially my head unit here, because Toyota certainly does not put the best head units. I'd love to test the Magic Box on maybe a newer unit with some faster graphics capabilities. I think that would probably make it cool. But, it does work well enough to where if you find like the video you want, you just let it play, it's going to be just fine. So what we'll do here is I'm going to go ahead and show you a full boot up from start to finish. And that is from the engine being off to loading this thing all the way up. I'll give you my final thoughts and we'll get the hell out of here. All right, here we go. All right, the car is off. Let's get it booted up. Comment below if you think I need to dust this thing off. All right, the normal caution screen, that'll all go away on its own. Now we are booted into the Magic Box boot screen. Again, you can go to the settings and disable the sound, which I've already done, to spare you all the loud like noises and stuff. Now we wait. And there we go. All right, so my final thoughts here on the Magic Box. I'm going to get the cons out of the way first. I do not like the 20+ second boot up. That's not my favorite. I know that's the hardware. There's a lot working in there with the Android operating system, so it does take some time to boot up. I found that for me personally, like, you know, I'll come out here, I'll start the car, and then I'll go back inside and I'll get my bag and my drink for the morning, and I'll come out here, and by that point, we're booted up and ready to go. The 1.5 to 2 seconds with the play pause, not the biggest fan of that, but again, that's something that is very common in just about every wireless CarPlay application, period. All in all, I do like the device. I mean, it's not failed me. I drive 70 to 75 miles round trip 5 days a week. You know, so I'm putting a lot of miles on this car, which means that this guy right here is running all the time. And so every time that I start up the car, it boots right into the CarPlay. It works for me, which I love. And there's not a lot to complain about. As far as, yeah, you've got to disconnect wireless CarPlay to use like the mobile hotspot. That's kind of a bummer. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's not the end of the world. Let's get into my pros of this device. I love the fact that I can just sit here on a road like this and watch Netflix, YouTube, and other apps. I think that that is so freaking cool, and I'm a huge fan of that. I mean, to me, that is more of a selling point for the Magic Box than even the wireless CarPlay aspect of it, because the wireless CarPlay aspect is really cool, but for me, I feel like sitting here and watching YouTube videos while I wait to go into work, if I've gotten there a little bit early and I'm just kind of, you know, just trying to kill time, I get to play it through my system here in the car, as opposed to just like my phone, you know, turned to the side or something, and watching it on a bigger screen through my system is really cool. So for me, there's a lot to enjoy about this device. And so if you're interested in it, I'm going to put a link down below that you can go and get more information on the Magic Box, as well as some of my other favorite RAV4 accessories. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for being here. And I mean, hey, if you made it this far, there must be something about the video you like. So if that is in fact true, hit the thumbs up button. I know every YouTuber is always begging you to do it, but it actually does make a difference, and it costs nothing. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see any of my future videos. Hit the bell next to that button so that you'll actually be notified when those new videos go live. And that's going to do it for me. YouTube thinks you're really going to like this video. I made it, so chances are they're probably right. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for being here. Oh, tell a friend. See ya.